In the interest of saving time, I have already gone ahead using the same methods that we used earlier to paint the cheat lines onto the engines themselves. Um, I'll just explain how the engines are separated in their paint kit. Um, they have a paint layer just like on the master fuselage texture, and within that you have the engine cowlings, and then you have the what's that layer. It tells you left engines inboard and outboard, right engine inboard and outboard, right engine top, left engine top, right engine bottom, left engine bottom. As you can understand, these all have to line up, and from the previous paint, these are actually already lined up. So basically, Alaska just has the cheat lines at the front of the engines and the same warnings that we have applied here. So all that's already done. What I was going to show you was how we're going to do the tail logo. If you go on the internet, almost every logo that you find, to include this one here that PMDG has for their baggage stuff. It's kind of hard to see, but he's actually frowning. He's got like a frown, and on the tail logos, he's actually smiling. So that became somewhat of a problem. So I couldn't find a smiling. I forgot this guy's name. I know he's a native Eskimo to the area. Um, I couldn't find a smiling guy, a smiling Eskimo for the texture. So what I had to do was I had to use this very picture right here, which is a very high resolution picture that I found on the internet, and I pasted it over basically over to here. Edit, transform, flip horizontal, and basically what I did was I just aligned it. I'm gonna trim this back edge off. There we go. There we go. All right, so what we're going to do is we're just going to take this picture here. As you see, it's not quite high res enough, and we're going to align it so that it fits this texture here. It's tilted a little bit forward to the right, so we're going to Control T, which is a free transform, or you can just go to Edit, Free Transform, Control T. That lines us up here. We're going to Control T again after we get done, and we're going to stretch this into place, right up to the edge. As you can see, it stretches it from both directions, so you kind of got to work it back and forth to get it right. Now, I could be doing this the long way. There might be a better way to do this. If you do know a better way, just let me know so that it doesn't make it so you have to go back and forth. That would be helpful. And double clicking it to save your change. Now, you could say, hey, that looks good enough to me, but it's not. It looks crap, man. And I hope you would never settle. Don't ever settle. Just because, well, it's kind of hard. Well, if it was easy, everybody would do it, right? Very good. All right. Bingo. Like you see, this becomes never ending. Okay. Now, what we're going to do, because I already have the face here, I already have this saved, and this just the white part. I took it from this picture, or from that tail picture, actually, from there. Um, all we got to do is we just got to draw this blue background, which is going to be easy compared to what we've done so far. So use our pen tool. Now you could freeform this and just go around it and draw it by hand, but it'll be all. If it's me, I'm all jaggy. If you have like one of those Wacom tablets, that would be much helpful. As you can see, it's not lined up again here, so I'm going to adjust this a little bit longer. Another way to adjust it is distort. You can just hold shift and move it in, and it makes it a lot more precise. We'll drag this corner down here. There we go. All right, now we're ready. to trace over top of this. So we're just doing a rough outline here, guys. Nothing real perfect. Just doing the peaks. Okay. And here, anything that has a valley or a curved top, I'm going to leave a space in there because we can add a piece later to make that work. Oh, we're almost done. And there. So now we'll come back, add these parts in here.
Hello.
Hey, buddy.
Sure.
All right. And there. All right, go in there. Go play. You can play with your sword. It's not a real sword. All right, what we're doing is just dragging these peaks into position just to mimic it as close as we can. Throw another one in there. Make the bottom side of that little curve there. Drag that, drag that. There we go. That's a pretty good rough outline there. Make a selection. When you're making selections, I haven't showed you this before, but you don't want any radius, feather radius. What that does is it feathers the edges of your selection so that you get really soft edges. I want hard edges, and we use anti-aliasing. I don't know how you say that word. Whatever. All right, so with that done here, we're going to make a new layer on top of that one. Use our blue color here, and we're going to paint bucket it in. Control D to deselect. And now we want to make this outline. Okay, so all we got to do there, double click on it, go to stroke, change the color to the green right there. Everything else the same. Outside, we're going to do it on the outside, not the inside or the center. We're just going to change the size of it until we get a pretty good match right there. We'll just make it a nice even 30 pixels. Hit OK, and there we go. Now we can delete that under part. Actually, we won't leave that on there. I forgot. So that we can size our face. So we'll copy our face in now. Oop, get rid of that. We don't need it anymore. We're going to paste it over top of that layer. And it should align pretty closely, other than a few twists or turns here or there. But because this is the picture I cut it from. Just get it as close as you can. I mean, you're not going to have one of these unless you do what I did, but get your logo lined up as best you can. There you go. That looks pretty good. We'll go with that and get rid of that. So there's your tail logo. Now we're going to trim up this bottom bit here. So we're going to hide that. We're going to go ahead and combine these two layers here. So we're going to merge them together. There we go. And we are going to trim the excess off of this. There we go. As you see, we got a little bit of blue, excuse me, the greenish color that's going to end up showing through. Double check this here, make sure we're exactly up to the edge cut here. So we'll know what we need to do. Okay, so you got a little bit of a blue here, so you can kind of just do that right there and just pencil it in. There you go. That'll keep you from having green at the bottom there where it's not supposed to be. Multiply. Good. That actually worked out nicely. Now we're going to just duplicate this over to the other side. I got to find a piece that is common for both, and I'm pretty sure I used, yeah, I used this point right here. Excuse me, where is it at? Let me find it again. Oh, here it is. This last rivet here on this inside bit. As you can see, it's got a 2 pixel mark there. So we'll take our pencil, reduce it back down to 2 pixels, and pop it in there. And that's going to be our reference point to line it up with the other side. So we're going to duplicate. Okay. Rotate it 180 degrees and drag it over. Find our last rivet, which is right there. Ugh. There it is. Sometimes you guys zoom way in just to see what you're trying to do. Alright, and I always delete out my little reference mark. You don't have to. I mean, it's so small it might not even show up on the 3D model, but I just do it. So our tail is done. Engines are painted. So we're good. So we'll save this. And as soon as that's done, we'll close it. Close the face, we don't need it anymore. Close that, we don't need it anymore. So we're good. Now we are ready to start pasting all of this over and making a viewable aircraft and flight simulator. So when we come back, we're not going to need that anymore. When we come back, we're going to start pasting this over to the fuselage section. So we'll see in just a second.